होते हैं आईफा मॉडल से, क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप?
बहुत लंबा सफ़र रहा है मेरा आईफा के साथ. मैं I think I've been a part of IFA right from the beginning, from hosting the awards to performing to winning in IFA. It's been a memorable and wonderful journey, and I love the fact that IFA stands for something meaningful, always uses their platform to make a difference. 2017 में आईफा का ग्रीन कार्पेट इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ था, जिससे मैं बहुत गहरी तरह से जुड़ी हुई हूँ. ओवर द इयर्स वीव डन मल्टीपल एंगेजमेंट्स एंड एक्टिविटीज़ इन डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, जहाँ पे हमने एनवायरमेंटल एक्शन, एनवायरमेंटल कॉन्शियसनेस पे बहुत काम किया है. और इस साल भी मैं बहुत ज़्यादा खुश हूँ क्योंकि एज अ यूनाइटेड नेशंस गुडविल एम्बेसडर I've had the privilege of partnering with IFA to bring the sustainable development goals to everyone.
So UAE as a country
Ji.
or Middle East, they have an agenda to complete all SDG goals by 2030.
Ji.
So this approach, how you are seeing with the developing nations and developed nations? The difference between.
Well, you know, the truth is that we are at the halfway point with the goals, and unfortunately, because of the ongoing situations in the world, whether it is the war or it is the pandemic, no problem. Say again. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. So we are at the halfway point with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and the goals are in crisis. We've experienced several setbacks on the goals because of the ongoing crisis in the world with the war and of course the aftermath of the pandemic. And we really need to mobilize action everywhere, and that's actually one of the primary reasons I'm here, to help people understand that everyone has a part to play. Individuals will have to take action, and the UAE included has to step up on many more aspects of the goals. The fact that we are experiencing a triple planetary crisis, and one of them is pollution. There has to be a lot more action on plastic pollution, and I really hope that our engagements will bring change.
Celebrities who are endorsing all SDG goals and environment things, how much in their lives they are adopting in day-to-day life? Because it's saying that okay, it's just for.
No, I think that we have, every one of us, whether we are public personalities or we are, just each and every one of us has a role to play. Many of us identify with some of the goals more deeply than we do with the others, but there are 17 goals. Whether it is refusing to waste food, whether it is just leading a more sustainable life, making more sustainable choices in our food habits, being mostly plant-based, or even just choosing more sustainable fashion, refusing single-use plastics. There are so many ways in which people in the public sphere can help impact change by adopting these changes. And I think for me, personally, my journey, I can only talk about the choices I've been able to make over the last decade. With the growing awareness, the choices that I've been able to make have inspired people. I see so many more people carrying their own metal bottles today, which is wonderful. And this is not a token exercise. I've saved thousands of bottles from entering our waterways. So every choice counts, every choice matters. And as people in the public sphere, we stand to gain so much more when we make better choices. I was actually talking to Kriti Rakul at the press conference in Mumbai, and she said something so interesting to me. When we were talking about saving water, she said, when we're at a restaurant, I don't allow the restaurant to change my plate. And that's an action that counts because you're saving water by doing that. So I think when each of us has more awareness and brings that awareness to our actions and we become more conscious in our actions, we can make a big difference,
The year is COP28 happening in the UAE this year.
Yeah.
So are you looking forward to that? And do you think that will bring a lot of more awareness in the country? Because UAE is a country which is it was a desert and it's turned into a concrete until now, and so much water desalinization, all of that happens over here. But yes, there's a lot of plastic waste that also comes because there's no water, drinking water like India, you don't get it free. So do you think COP28 will happening in the UAE will make that difference?
You know, as India was host to two of the COPs in the recent years, and I do know and I do believe that it did make a huge impact in improving awareness within policymakers, within government systems, and civil society. I participated in these COPs, and I stood to gain so much from it. And I do believe that when a country is a host to such a important summit, and has such momentous participation from various member states and just a deeper understanding of the science. I think with the advocacy also comes the solutions, and the solutions exist. It's a matter of time, and it's also a matter of principle, right? Whether you want to adopt those solutions. And I think more and more countries are, and I hope UAE does too.
You can see you're carrying the SDG badge with you.
Yes.
Thank you. You have had a long standing. Sorry, just a second. We are Mr. Sharp, who is the US
coordinator for the United Nations. He's a wonderful man. He speaks lots of Hindi, so make him speak in Hindi. Okay, please.
You have had IFA and the many causes that, and you have been an integral part of the many causes of IFA. What are the changes you have seen, after IFA picking up these causes and, bringing awareness to India especially?
Behavioral change is possibly one of the most difficult things to achieve. And as people in the arts and as people in a part of the creative world, it is so important for us to be able to not just highlight those changes and bring people's awareness to it, but consciously practice it ourselves as well. I see a distinct difference within my fraternity, and I think it's so important to point to that because when I started traveling with my metal bottle 8 years ago, a lot of people thought it was inconvenient, it was funny, it was ridiculous even. And now I see so many of my contemporaries, so many of my colleagues, so many of the younger generation carry their own bottles. So it takes one to consistently do something for others to understand the importance and the significance of it, and then it kind of transcends. And I see now so many people at airports, at railway stations, at offices, outside gyms, in public spaces, carrying their own bottles. So it's a shift that is evident, and I do believe that it is the platforms that IFA has offered to us. We did in 2019, I think we did a partnership with IFA, or the Environment Program did a partnership with IFA. And I do believe that a lot of the advocacy and the communication during that year did help bring more awareness to people.
Do you have any endeavors to reach out to the smaller cities and villages of India?
The SDGs impact everyone everywhere. And when we talk about the Sustainable Development Goals, it definitely includes the people in the most marginalized places of the world, and that includes our villages and the smaller towns in our country. Waste, for example, is a huge problem, right? We still don't have the systems to manage our waste more effectively. But it's very heartening to see that there are so many communities, civil society organizations working on the ground with people, managing that waste, creating waste collection centers, using very scientific methods to segregate and upcycle, recycle, repurpose that waste. In fact, there's this amazing lady in the Northeast who runs a school, and she collects plastic as her school fees and is using that plastic to build new things and bring it back into what is called the circular economy. So circularity is also something that I think more and more people are understanding and adopting. There's a lot of work to be done, but it has begun.
I'm from a radio station in Kenya. You're, as a UN ambassador, matters of sustainable living, environment, water pollution, plastic pollution, wildlife conservation is close to your heart. For people in Kenya, we have the biggest game reserve in the world, Masai Mara. What message do you have to Kenyans who are right there with wildlife?
I know so many communities that used to be hunters that are now protectors. And that is really the shift that the world needs. I gain so much when I come to the Mara. I learn so much. It's such a rich and diverse and beautiful land. And I think the way you get to interact with wildlife in the Mara, you don't get to interact with the wildlife anywhere else on the planet. It's magic, and I hope that, you know, there has been some very gruesome images I saw in the last year of, you know, giraffes dying and the drought really impacting wildlife and communities there. And I think so much of the work that we are trying to do is to ensure that these communities and this wildlife thrives, and you know, the effects, the adverse effects of climate change are mitigated.
You recently posted a video with your toddler son and he's identifying flowers. How can, as a parent, how can other parents, what tips do you have for them to instill these values in their young children?
You know, I always say that the best gift we can give our children is a relationship with nature. We are, after all, a part of the natural world, even though we've, you know, moved away from the natural world and we've built ourselves these concrete cities to live in. The fact that, you know, makes us healthy, restores our balance, our well-being, is guaranteed by interaction with nature. So I appeal to parents everywhere to ensure that your children interact with nature every single day. Let them play in soil, let them hug trees, let them watch the, you know, the birds and the bees. It's the most precious gift you can give them.
Mr. Shah, I have a question for you.
Thank you.
No,
Bravo. I'm so proud of you.
I'm very
Mr.
happy
Shah
to
is
listen
a very
to
patient
If
fan.
you want, I can clip it.
you. We can all listen to you all day, for sure, with pleasure.
So my question to you, since you speak in Hindi, you can answer in Hindi.
Oh,
Is that, do you want me to ask in Hindi?
No, ask in English. Come on now.
Dia is one of the
हिंदी बहुत मुश्किल है.
Oh, देखा ना.
सुना है, so we
और
know.
आप बहुत अच्छी
Good,
हिंदी बोलते
exactly, yeah. So we would like you to repeat what you said on the stage yesterday. And other than that, what I want to ask you is that Dia is, obviously we've seen her right from 2000, like since the IFA started. She's always been the torchbearer of this cause. But IFA gets so many celebrities. Why is it that more celebrities aren't a part of this? Is there any plan to get them? And like, you know, people always are also criticizing award shows these days that, you know, there's so much red, green carpet. We have a green carpet here, but it's so much about clothes and looks. Why can't it be more about sustainability?
Well, thank you for the
5
question.
questions
Yes,
in one.
exactly.
Go for it.
I mean, first of all, I think it's we cannot. I mean, it's an incredible opportunity to partner with the film industry, generally speaking, and the Indian film industry in particular, because of this just simply unparalleled outreach and influence. You know, and to have celebrities, superstars like Dia and others who are joining the cause for circularity, for sustainability. We're actually leading. You know, I mean, some people will use their platform, sort of, you know, you can convince them to use their platform for good. Others, like Dia, you know, they would be using their platform even if they didn't have a platform. So it's that authenticity that's so important, and the role model leadership which we're seeing, and I totally agree with Dia that we're seeing this change through time. So it's about, you know, informing, educating, inspiring, and you simply can't have a better mechanism to do that than the Indian film industry. IFA, I mean, we saw what happened I mean, yesterday. This is just the warm-up. The energy, the dynamism is truly incredible. So I think, you know, this is something that the world is waking up, and we have to be using every possible means that we have. And we know that the private sector, businesses, industry, creative industries, you know, this is going to make the change. It's not going to be governments. It's not going to be international organizations like the UN. You know, we help bring governments together to drive policy and to you know, develop treaties and things like that. And there have been some really, really big breakthroughs recently, right? You've got an agreement on a global plastic treaty, sort of, you know, single-use plastic bans coming in by 2024.
Yeah.
And India is already leading on I mean, already introducing single-use plastic bans. You've got the biodiversity 30 by 30, 30% of the Earth's fragile coastal zones, maritime areas, terrestrial areas will be protected by 2030. You've got the COP whole process, 26, 27, 28, coming up now. And here again, India has really made important commitments, Panchamrit commitments, 500 gigawatts of renewable energy. I mean, this is incredible. Hundreds of billions of dollars.
Or even the Life campaign.
Life campaign, Prime Minister Modi's Life campaign, Lifestyles for the Environment. You know, this is about creating, as I said, a Jan Andolan, but not just in India. But if you start with India,
And it's giving people 75 sustainable choices to make, which is it's a blueprint, right? It's something that everybody can just look at and say, okay, so this is what it means to live more sustainably.
yeah, and I have to just share a secret, actually. Even though my work, my profession is sustainability, honestly, Dia, you are the one that convinced me to carry a bottle because you don't, I mean, I resist and refuse plastic with passion at every possible moment. In fact, I've gone dehydrated many times
Yeah,
because
tell me about
I'm
it.
dying for a drink, but
Yeah.
I'm offered just a plastic bottle and I can't, do that. So what do you do?
I've been
about
struggling
that?
since
Have your
last
bottle.
night.
Yeah, exactly. So you have that bottle, and I finally, really, you're the one who it got through my thick head that I can do that too.
Yeah.
If Dia can, I can. So that's just one example, the power of Indian film industry.
Any dialogue you want to share?
You know, I want to add something to what Shombi said. We've got two other incredible ambassadors from the Indian film industry. There's Ayushmann Khurrana, who's working with UNICEF, and we have Bhumi Pednikar, who's working with the UNDP. In fact, she's working on the Sustainable Development Goals. I agree with you that we need many more people to do this, but I think everybody is in their own individual space. They may not be aligned with an agency like the United Nations, but they're all doing their bit. And I think what this whole effort, this exercise is also going to do is to help them as individuals recognize, oh, I'm actually contributing to goal 13, 14, 15, 4, 2, 1, and join the dots. And realize that, oh, actually, I am aligned with the goals as an individual as well. I didn't know that up till now. So that's going to be exciting as well. No?
Right. I mean, that's the thing. We can each become climate champions.
Yeah.
That's the point. I mean, 2/3 of global greenhouse gas emissions come from households.
Yeah, individual
So-
consumption.
Exactly. So if each one of us in our homes make these changes, this is going to be transformational.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for giving your time. Thank you.
Thank you.